Hello everyone, the 316, Lego Maniac 316, back with another Power Ranger Lightning Collection review on Monday. This is of the Wave 4 SPD Red Ranger, who retailed for $19.99. So, right off the bat, I just want to say, I really like the color of red that they chose for this figure. I'm gonna compare him to the rest of my Red Rangers, but he has the best red coloring, especially in the torso. It's a nice rich color, it looks great. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. So we got his blasters. Let me get those out of his hands. And he comes with an effect piece, which is the same as Magna Defenders. It doesn't peg in too easily to these pieces, but it does work well enough. But you have his two blasters here. And there's something really special about these. Just like in the show, they can actually combine. You just shove the one into the other, and then push up the rubber grip, and they're combined. And yes, he can hold it, since it's just using the same grip as the one gun. Go ahead and put it in his hand, and there you go. That's probably the best thing about this figure, if you ask me. Accessories wise, he has two trigger holding hands, obviously for his weapons. He's got the SPD Morpher, which is still the best one, and it's got a Morpher holding hand. Pretty easy to put that in there. He's got a left karate chop hand. And then he has the civilian head sculpt. Does that look like Jack? What do you guys think? I think from like certain angles it looks pretty good, but his face is too thin. Like his face needs to be just a touch wider, you know? I'll put his head on in a little bit, but let's go ahead and take a look at this actual figure. I got this figure I think a couple months ago, and I bought it online. So you can see that there's a defect in the paint there. I am planning on getting a silver paint marker to fix that, but it still bugs me. Anyway, like I said, I really like the red color of this figure. It's probably the best red that they've done. It's almost close to this, deodorant. Like, very similar, except this is a little more shiny. This is a little more matte. So he actually does have a new belt mold. The other SPD male rangers have different belt mold, but you can put both of his blasters in each one. Let's see, the one with the rubber grip I think goes, if I can open it, sometimes it can be a pain. So this one goes here, and then this one goes here, like so. Even though in the image, he would use this hand to grab this one, but it shows it not being on this side, so. I mean, look, you could probably switch these to your liking, but like, there you go. I'll just leave those in there. Speaking of belts, does not have a place for the SPD Morpher, even though they molded on a really, really tiny one. See the top of it there? So paint-wise, I do have issues with this figure. There's always issues with these bracers. I don't really mind it, because it's barely noticeable, but you can see that one's painted a lot nicer than that one. Similar thing with the bottom of the legs here, although the legs are a bit better. It's really just the back where the flashing is that it looks a bit weird. Paint-wise, also this one. So if I line up the one on the front, it's not lined up on the back. Like, it looks okay, but you can see that his whole torso is shifted to the right here. So then when I shift that back into place, then the one on the front, again, is not in place. So this figure has a bit wonky of a number, but at least they painted all the way up the torso, unlike SPD Green. This was, I believe, the first SPD mainline Ranger to get, because we did get Shadow in Wave 1, so this guy in Wave 4. Articulation-wise, it's the exact same as what you'd expect, butterfly joint, ratchet, twist up here, twist down here, double jointed elbow, twist the hand, and the problem with these figures I find is that it's very hard to actually move the ratchet in there. I mean, you can do it, but it's usually not very easy. Of course, the head's on a ball joint. double jointed here. Oh, you hear that snap? This is always the worst joint for me on these figures. It's way too tight. Ball joint up there, twist down here, double jointed, twist here. Ooh, that was stiff. And then ratchet to bend. But yeah, pretty good poseability. Let me go ahead and take off his head. Oop, his blaster fell out. Let me grab that. There we go. Alright, put his head mold on. This one's very difficult because the ball socket is all the way like at the top of his head. It might be very difficult to see, but you can see if I compare it, his ball joint's all the way at the top. Like there's a big deal of just plastic taken out. So trying to get that ball all the way up there is very difficult. It's very easy with this, and I don't know why there's silver paint in there. That's strange. Alright, let me go ahead and try to shove his head on. This is always, like I said, the most difficult part. It's possible, but it just does not want to go on. Ooh, that was a nice tight snap. Ugh. Because his ball socket is all the way up the head, he got no neck. He got no neck. Like, none. Oh, he just looks kind of funny. I mean, you can get a good look at him. They should have made the ball socket just a little bit lower so it's not as difficult to take that head on and off. Getting the helmet on is easy. Like, just one snap, you're good. Alright, time to do some size comparisons. So this uses the typical Spd body mold, which was introduced with this figure, although I believe the torso, the midsection, and a lot of other parts, save for the boots and the gauntlets, are reused between figures. We will take a look at some of those. So height-wise, just about like 6.5 inches, or no, 6.25, 6.1/3. I don't know, but you can see how tall he is there. Like on camera, it says he's 6, but he's definitely like up to here. Alright, size comparison time. Let's go ahead and start off with the Red Rangers. So here's Time Force Red. As you can see, just a much richer red. Next up, Lost Galaxy Red, which is actually pretty close. Is like a nice in-between of these two. It looks a bit brighter on camera, but you know. And my last Red Ranger, Dino Thunder Red. He's been giving me trouble trying to stand up, but you get the idea. He's a little too pink for me. Anyway, there's a good amount of color comparisons between the reds. Alright, next up, speaking of body molds, we'll look at Mighty Morphin, Dragon Shield Black Ranger. It's hard to tell on camera, but pretty much all of this is the same as this. They just painted it differently. Alright, let's get on some Spd Rangers. I'm not going to do every one. I will, once they release yellow, do a comparison of all of them. But there's blue and green. So, again, he gives me trouble standing up too sometimes. His right ankle is a little loose, but you'll see that in his review when I get to it. But yeah, they look good together. Hopefully we get yellow soon, and then we can have the entire team, because we have all of them except yellow. And then last one I'm going to do, since I have it here, is the A-Squad Blue. So A-Squad Blue's a little bit taller, so I'm not sure how tall A-Squad Red will be. I don't have them. They have been released from, I think it was Dorkside Toys, but I might be incorrect on that. Anyway, so overall, let's take a look at the box. So on the box, he is painted a little nicer, especially on the visor, but what's weird is that in the promo images, his hands were silver, so they did fix that. There's the red on the top of the box. There's your legalese. There's the side of the box that has Spd on it. There's the front of the box. And then there's the side of the box that has the lightning bolt. Anyway, as I was saying, overall, I think this figure is really good. But finding it in the wild is going to be pretty difficult. Like I said, I had to buy this online. So I would recommend trying to find one of these in person since it's one of the earlier figures of the line. Usually the earlier figures of the line have a lot of paint issues. A lot of paint issues, trust me. Do I think it's a good deal? You know, if you can still find it for $19.99, which I think it's on Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, and a few other places for that price, I think it's worth it, you know? It's a good figure. I love the red color, but the paint issues still hold these earlier figures back. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I got one more review planned, unless my pre-orders get in, or I'm lucky enough to find one of the, 2-packs or Wave 10 in store somewhere, just by happenstance. But anyway, you got one more review to look forward to next week on the... Well, actually, I'm not going to say that because, again, something might happen where I get one of my figures from pre-order. Anyway, sorry. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews on Monday. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, and if you want to, go ahead and leave a comment on how you feel about this figure. Thanks for watching. Peace.